terms of the key objectives of reducing class sizes, cutting truancy, creating more places in higher education, and improving basic literacy and numeracy. But worries about teachers' pay do linger.
Something like 20,000 teachers have now left the profession in the last 12 months, and we're simply not recruiting new people of high caliber to come in and replace them. So what we've now got is a real teacher crisis.
And there were very confused signals in the press yesterday. One set of newspapers, the ones that the teachers read, were being told that there were going to be big increases in teachers' pay, and another set of newspapers, the ones that the people in the city read, were told there was going to be a tough clampdown on teachers' pay, and they can't both be right. David Blunkett needs to come clean.
The number of people coming into the profession at the moment is dropping fast. Government's not meeting its targets for the number of teachers, and if it can't meet its targets, it's not going to actually achieve its standards crusade.
There are bound to be anxieties about teachers' pay. Equally, the Conservatives are bound to question the Chancellor's judgment and generosity. But there is a widespread sense that the government's getting on with what it was elected to do. Some say not before time. Peter Spencer, Sky News, Westminster.
IEC officers have begun searching for troublemakers who threw a blast bomb at police at Drumcree overnight. No one was injured, but officers have now moved into the fields where the protesters have gathered to carry out a detailed search. There was more trouble overnight as demonstrators attempted to dismantle army barricades, cheered on by a crowd of around 300. Fireworks were thrown over the barriers at the security forces.
3 men and a woman are due in court this morning, charged over Friday's alleged bomb plot in London. They were among 10 suspects arrested in a joint operation by British and Irish police. The 4 are charged with conspiracy to cause explosions. 3 are also accused of possessing explosive substances. They'll appear at Woolwich Magistrates Court in London.
Newcastle United is considering persuading the Hall family to place its controlling stake in the club in a trust to placate the investors. In return, it's expected that disgraced directors Douglas Hall and Freddie Shepherd will be invited back on the board. The two resigned last March after making disparaging remarks about fans in a tabloid newspaper.
Former chairman Freddie Shepherd and director Douglas Hall were forced to resign from the football club board back in March. A national newspaper who caught the pair on video reported comments the two had made during a trip to Spain. They insulted Newcastle women, the fans who'd bought replica shirts, and striker Alan Shearer, who they nicknamed Mary Poppins. The supporters vented their fury at the director's comments following a midweek game with Crystal Palace. As the days passed, it became clear that Shepherd and Douglas Hall would have to step down. Eventually, Sir John Hall came out of retirement to return as chairman until the end of last season. His disgraced son and Shepherd stepped down, but have hardly severed their links with the club. Both have been seen at St James's Park since their resignations. It would appear most fans of the club are against their return to the board.
You have proper footballing supporters on the board, people who don't sit there and have contempt and arrogance like that for the fans. If they don't like the fans in the first place, what was he doing supporting Newcastle?
It was awful the way they denigrated the fans and the females.
Shearer?
Pardon? Shearer? Oh yeah, Shearer. I mean, what's he calling him? Mary Poppins.
I don't agree with it happening, but I think we need them for the money, really.
The club's PLC board will begin the work of recruiting 2 independent non-executive directors and electing a chairman at a meeting today. The new chairman will replace the Rolls-Royce chief executive, Sir Terence Harrison, who has stepped down. It appears there's nothing to stop Douglas Hall and Freddie Shepherd once more taking control of Newcastle United. Ian Doveston, Sky News, Newcastle.
Well, our reporter Gerard Tubb is in Newcastle, joins us now from outside the ground. Hello to you, Gerard.
Good morning.
Good morning. It doesn't look as though from that report we just saw that emotions are that much calmer. Do you think they will be invited back on the board?
Well, who knows? It really does depend who you talk to. We've been speaking to a lot of people closely connected with the club. Now, the sources, official sources close to the club, are playing this down and saying, no, Freddie Shepherd and Douglas Hall, the 2 disgraced directors, will not be coming back to the PLC, the parent company of Newcastle United. Full stop. That's not going to happen. But unofficial sources, quite close to the club, in fact very close to the club, well placed, are saying that is very much the intention, that they do want to come back and that the club wants to get them back with some degree of control. And then again, if you talk to people in the city, analysts who look at the market of football clubs and what it all means, they're saying they're hearing exactly the same rumours. They are nothing more than rumours, they say. but they believe that there is a real intention to get these people back. Now, when you bear in mind that they were removed from the club after a board meeting earlier this year that went on and from early in the morning until midnight by a board that had Sir Terence Harrison, this high-powered city man, at its helm, and also John Mayo, who was an independent director. Both of those were sitting on the board, and it's believed they wanted to get rid of the two, or at least remove them from the PLC. They've both now gone. I mean, 6 people from that PLC board who used to sit in the boardroom behind me have left since the club floated in the spring of last year. And really, most of the people who are there now are at least business colleagues of Sir John Hall, the man who rescued this club. And so one does have to wonder, are there going to be many voices saying, no, we don't want them back on the board?
Gerard, just a very quick thought about Douglas Hall. He's got 1 or 2 other domestic difficulties to have to deal with as well at the moment, hasn't he? His wife's filed for divorce after that tape.
The Sun was reporting yesterday that that his wife has filed for divorce. People suggested in Newcastle that that might be likely to happen after those revelations.